Obscuria.
Welcome back, my friends, to the In Obscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should have beens. I'm Kevin Williams. That's Robert Harrison. What's going on this week?
How you doing?
How you doing? What's going on over there?
You like my new furniture?
You have rocking chairs like an old man.
Yeah, it's for the front back porch.
Right, the back front porch.
It's front back.
No, back front porch.
Yeah, it's the front porch in the backyard. Was working on that today, and these came in the mail. And damn it, I checked 3 times to make sure that they weren't flat packed. And sure enough, they show up flat packed. And I had to assemble rocking chairs. That was really exciting. Part of my day was assembling fucking rocking chairs.
That's what the people want to hear about.
It was
here on the In Obscuria.
That was it. That, like I said, this is the peak of my day, was putting together rocking chairs.
Old man putting rocking chairs together.
And then I was outside building a front porch in the backyard.
Well, the funny thing about that,
up.
yeah. So the funny thing about that is, I show up, your dog is barking at me as usual.
Yeah, he's a good watchdog.
I come in and he goes to the back, and usually he goes upstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he needs to show me something. What's that, Lassie?
Yeah.
You need to show me something?
Timmy fell in the well.
So he literally takes me to the back room, and then he points at the door with his nose.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay, is that where Robert is? He looks at me, goes back to the door. Looks at me again, goes back to the door. I'm like, okay, that's where Robert is. I open the door. There you are, sitting on a swing in your backyard.
Yep.
Just an old guy sitting in a swing. Nobody else in the vicinity.
It sucks
anywhere.
Because I just finished putting away the tools in anticipation of recording a podcast. I sat down for like 30 seconds, and then you show up and see me. Oh, you're just sitting around in a swing like an old man. Like, you didn't see me sweating my ass off cutting deck boards, okay?
You had your earbuds in, and I just knew you were listening to what's that, Inge?
I had been listening to Type O Negative.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know. It came up in a random playlist, but I had been listening to that, and I turned it off, was checking some texts and surfing Facebook for a second, and then the dog comes running out. I'm like, oh, where'd you come from? And so I got busted sitting on my ass for 30 seconds, and now that's my reputation.
Listen to the Andy Griffith Show theme song.
I'll do the hard stuff, man. Oh, you want to push a button?
Oh, shit, I'm not even ready.
I know, I caught you off guard.
Oh, you sure did.
It's been a while.
Oh, it has been a while. I'm ready to push a button. Hold on.
Push that button.
No, hold on.
I got something to tell you.
That's right, Munchketeers. It's time to get your grub on with the chef that can give it to you funky style.
Roberts, God not eating. That's right now, Roberts, God not eating. Wow!
Wait till you hear what kind of deliciousness I had for dinner tonight. I know people are just waiting. They're just frothing at the mouth. You know what I had?
What'd you have?
I had 3 frozen chicken fingers out of the toaster oven.
What the hell did you just say?
That was it.
That was worthy of a button push?
That was it. That's all I had.
3 chicken fingers.
I was desperate for something. That's all I had.
Chickens don't even have fingers. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, these fingers made me feel a little inadequate. I'm like, good Lord. It's like 12-inch long chicken fingers. Like, I know I cut it to get it into the toaster oven. I'm like, this is not just, maybe it's chicken strip, but I thought it was chicken
I believe those are strips.
So this is actually just a tease.
Okay.
I'm so excited about what's coming up. I can't tell you. It's going to take 2 days to cook this. So stay tuned. Next week. Promise. Guaranteed.
We're not getting any more than that?
No, that's a tease.
So it has something to do with chicken fingers. It has something to do with chicken.
No, it's nothing. No, that was just what I...
Well, how is that a tease?
Well, what's coming up. Stay tuned. This is what they call in the industry as a teaser.
A teaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what industry, but some industry somewhere calls that a teaser.
Yeah. All my girlfriends were teasers as well.
Damn. Not all. Not the one you married.
She's still teasing.
You got daughters, so I know better.
Eventually they fall asleep.
Oh, that's true. You awake? You awake? You awake?
Why are 2 aspirin in my mouth? Well, you don't have a headache, right?
She doesn't listen to this, does she?
No.
Okay, we're good.
Hell no.
We're good. Otherwise, I would say delete.
Yeah.
She knows where I live, man.
Anything else? That's all you got. You had 3 chicken fingers. That's your story.
It's just how pathetic is that? But I built stuff today. I just didn't have time for food.
You built rocking chairs.
I know that's going on a front porch. It's traditional. It's an old-timey front porch with 100-year-old barnwood.
Very not firehouse.
It's not. It's supposed to be an escape from everything else. It's a different world out there, Kevin.
I don't need to call somebody. I'm kind of worried about you.
Who could you call? There's the retirement Alzheimer's place. That's across the street. So actually, there is, honest to God, there is an Alzheimer's memory care facility across the street from the firehouse. I can see it out the front door or the front windows.
You can see your future.
Yeah. And it's funny, but it's not. Because I'm like, yep, I'm going to just, one of these days, I'm going to pack a bag, walk over there.
Walk across the street with the flamethrower.
It's me. All right, I'm ready. But that's my next stop. But I'll be able to see the firehouse out the window that then never opened. So yeah, that's my future.
All right. Well, after you visit the old folks' home, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, Sean Geek and Fast Fret Podcast, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, Retrozest Podcast, The Synaptic Empire, and don't forget about Monty.
Hey, it's Monty.
Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us in Obscuria.com. Like us, share us. I can't say recommend us anymore. They took that away, apparently. Really? Facebook, Bastards. Instagram, and
X. Me. X you.
I finally got the X update on my phone, so I can no longer say Twitter. There's no more bird on my phone. It is now an X.
So when you would tweet somebody.
I guess now you're X.
Or you would tweet on the platform. I don't know. I've never.
You X now.
You X. You X on X. God, this guy's an idiot. I swear. He's not good at marketing.
For marketing, he's missing a great relationship he could start with ZZ Top.
I heard
it on the X.
I heard it on the X.
I mean, that could be a brilliant commercial in my, he needs to hire me.
I had no idea what that song was about.
On the X.
Finally, somebody.
You don't know what that's about?
Well, no. Back when I was
Mexican
starting
radio,
to listen to, and I was like, I heard it on the what? But yeah, that's a cool story. Somebody should do a movie about that.
Yeah.
Get on that.
All right. Well, we got to get to this week's episode, Robert, because this week I was enjoying a nice sausage at our local Austrian restaurant. Have you been to this place in Ostel? Burgermeister's Garden. Have you been there yet?
It's Austrian and Ostel.
Austrian and Ostel.
Is it next door to the witchy place?
Well, that place has been
closed. The witchy donut shop? Oh, it closed.
That's closed, yeah. And
health department shut them down?
Interesting you bring this up because I was sitting there enjoying my sausage.
Sounds kinky.
And our old friend, Madame Dubrow, is my waitress.
Dubrow, what's up,
Madame Dubrow is there, and she used to work at the Ostel Occult and Donut Shop.
Yeah.
It closed. She said something about citations from the coroner's office. I'm not sure what that's all about, but they had to close. But she kept trying to push schnitzel on me, and I said, no, I want sausage. I'm an Austrian place. I want sausages. I really like the various assortments of sausages that they have. And she said, no.
Wieners galore.
Vienna sausages.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're known for.
Vienna.
They didn't come in a can, though. I was a little disappointed.
That's disgusting if they don't come in a can.
I know. What the hell? But she kept trying to get me to order schnitzel. And she was very persistent and said, and she grabbed me. She's like, you must order schnitzel. And then I remembered, Robert, we talked about it not too long ago. Schnitzel core.
Yes. You teased with that, and now you're going to pay off?
So today, yes, we are going to get into a sound.
What the hell's that?
Oh my God, I haven't heard that ring in a long time.
I've heard that somewhere.
Shit. That's the emergency podcaster secret syndicate phone. Dude, go get it out of the cargo shorts.
All right, hang on.
Hello? Who's there?
This is LC.
LC? What's the emergency, man?
You're very confusing with your show titles and everything, and you put out a Danko Jones Part 2 episode, which immediately had me looking for Part 1, scrolling through years of your podcast to find the Part 1. Never found it. And then I realized Danko Jones' career. Is Robert there too?
Right here, man.
Robert's here. He's on the phone, man.
Okay, good. So, yeah. So I'm just calling in because Danko fucking Jones, we've had conversations about him. I guessed him at Rockin' Pod. We have a connection. I figured it, but you just go and put out an episode and don't invite myself or Baco. And so I just wanted to see if there's anywhere I can be on the part 1, which is actually part 2.
I see where you're coming from.
Sorry, that was quite the fox pass that we didn't invite you.
Wow. Yeah, really?
The Fox Pass. I like that.
Okay, well, we can pivot, man. I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and you're right. I did not invite you or your co-host. Now, I'm just going to say that your co-host and I have had a little issue here lately, so I thought maybe you were, when I first heard your voice, I thought maybe it was something else. But okay, I get what you're saying. So we'll just pivot. We'll do something different today. And since you're on, we might as well do this with you. So,
because we just make it up anyway as we go along. So we can
I'm not Baco's keeper. He can have his issues with you all he wants and everything like that. You take care of your business between him. I don't have him on a leash. He can say whatever he wants to say. Well, as you've heard,
they've scheduled a rumble for next week. They're going to get out and dance it out in the street.
I think it's called a beef squash, not a rumble.
I love beef squash.
Those are your words.
I love beef squash, man. You put it in the little breadcrumbs on top of it.
What the hell did you just say?
I thought it was like a West Side Story thing because I was practicing dancing.
See, I've been coaching them. I'm coaching them.
Got it.
You guys work that out.
We will work that out, and we'll work this out with you because what I don't want to do is piss both guys off from Cobras and Fire. So
at the same time.
So
we'll do it one at a time.
I will take your call today, sir, and we will pivot. This will be episode 196. Grave mistake. Danko Jones should have been huge. Should be huge. Part 1. This is 96 through 2010. Because that's the way we do things. It's not in order, you see. I know that pissed you off.
What was the logic? What was the logic on that again? Because you explained it to me. I processed it.
You did. You reached out to me.
And then I still didn't understand.
Well, Kevin plays drums, so that's hampered his ability to count.
He got away.
I play bass.
He's mostly a bass player.
But he plays drums too, so that's kind of diminished some counting abilities.
The real reason was I just wanted to hear what I wanted to hear that day.
Here endeth the lesson.
Fair
era of his music. So that's all there is to it, man. Well, since you're
I'm kind of cool with that.
Okay. All right, cool.
So in this sense, I'm not really been invited. I've just interrupted, as I'm good at doing. And I've invited myself on here, which I think I actually did. Kind of too, so it works out.
You actually did. You invited yourself on the show, and we will take that, man. You're welcome anytime via the special phone. I don't know if you recognize the ringtone or not, but
I did. It's amazing.
All right, so we're just going to move forward then, LC Fox from Cobras and Fire. So you guys out there in Obscuria world may remember him from such episodes as Rockin' Pod Wildcard 2021 and Rockin' Pod Wildcard 2023. And that was it. Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
So you've hung out with us. We have had many a good laugh at
Shared
the old
some beers.
Rockin' Pod Expo.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're on the program. And I know you are a Danko. What is a Danko Jones fan? A Danko head? What would you call a Danko Jones fan?
Man, I don't think there's a clever term for that.
Dank head.
I think it's just a lot. No, I don't know. A dank head.
A Jonesy?
A dankert.
I don't know. Well,
yeah, I don't think he has one.
Well, we have to work on that.
A Joneser?
What
Joneser. Yeah. Joneser works.
Sure, there's a reason he doesn't have a term for it either, because he couldn't come up with one. You would think he would.
What I'd like to do is get a little background because you guys have been doing Cobras and Fire for obviously longer than we've been doing our show, and I'm not sure that everybody knows your background because I know you also started and you met Baco doing some written pieces for Decibel Geek. So can you give us a little LC background? Yeah,
sure. So essentially, Cobras and Fire, we started in 2015, and part of our origin story was the fact that we both wrote for Decibel Geek, and there was an article that Baco, my co-host, or the co-host, or what does it sound like? If I say my co-host, it sounds like
it's
he's
your
lesser
show.
than.
Yeah, he's your employee.
Yeah,
I think that sounds
we're
right.
each. There you go. How about that?
Yeah.
My podcast partner, Baco, he had written an article on Danko Jones at the time. It was, I think, Fire Music. Does that sound right? 2015. That would have been the most current release. Yeah, and I just it was a funny ass article, as you'd expect from him, but it just like it hit all the points. I'm like, I got to reach out to this dude, another fellow writer that likes Danko Jones, and it was kind of like the core of our first 2 episodes that we did were Kiss, great songs off albums that suck, and Danko Jones, like the greatness of Danko Jones. And that was basically the thing. And I think that's the core. I think that my point of telling that story is I think that the core of any music fan needs to have Danko Jones in there somewhere. I don't see how you cannot love some of his songs. You might not love his whole discography, but he's got those bass elements like AC/DC and Kiss and just great 3-minute put together catchy. But I'll just tell you a little bit too is how I was introduced to Danko Jones. Did you want me to go into that too?
Well, I think before you go any further, you've mentioned another band twice, and you haven't done it appropriately. So let me just...
Oh, that's right.
Hold on, let me do it for you.
Good Lord.
Please do.
Kiss! There's your Kiss connection. You've already had 2, thanks to LC. So there, you can move forward from there. Yes, please move forward.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it just really quickly is that I remember watching the metal show back in, I'm going to say 2010, and watching I think it was Don Jameson, who pulled out a copy of Below the Belt. He pulled out a copy of Below the Belt, and he said, like, it was like, what are you listening to now? Some segment like that. I'd never heard of him before I watched the show. They didn't feature any music from him. They just showed the album cover, and I see this black dude sitting in a plantation chair, which I found out was a plantation chair later, next to a lion, and next to like a... mentioned a couple of the songs and said, yeah, and in their current video, they have Lemmy, from Motorhead in their latest video. And I'm like, I immediately went there, listened to, I Think Bad Thoughts, and I've never turned back since. Like, I immediately bought the album. So
now,
that's...
You did cut out there for a second, so I just want to tell the listeners, so what Danko is sitting next to, and we'll talk about this album cover a little bit, but you said lion, and then what was the other thing that's next to him?
Plantation chair?
No, he's in the plantation chair.
I was paying attention.
So the other thing that is next to him is a beautiful woman in lingerie. So it's a perfect album cover in my estimation. You can't really get much better than that. We'll talk about that today as we go through this, because that is where we're going to end up at the end of this thing.
Let me just Google that.
You're in the lobby. Oh my God, there's 2 of you now. You see that?
Oh, that's not what we need.
Shit.
We do not need to. Hi.
No,
hey.
you don't need that. Hold on.
You actually sound better now, so hopefully it won't cut out anymore.
Yeah, all right.
You sound 4.6% sexier.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Continue your show, please.
Yes, sir. Will do. All right, so let's just jump into this. We gave a bunch of history in the last episode. You can go listen to that one. That was episode 189. And then we've also played Danko on Ghost Fest back 2022. But like I said, if you want the history, go listen to 189. LC knows the history. He doesn't need it. But I did grab a clip that you shared just the other day, LC, and I think the rest of the folks on the podcast need to hear it. So I'm just going to play this little snippet. Let's hear Danko on Danko.
I'm a singer and guitarist in a rock band called Danko Jones. That's my name, and it's also the name of the band. People often ask if it's difficult to sing and play guitar at the same time. My answer is yes, extremely difficult, and I'm not sure I'm pulling it off. I'm sloppy, my vocal range is limited, and I don't know any music theory. We have 10 studio albums, and our 11th one is coming out in September. In order to attract listeners, we try to punch up songs by adding swear words. We noticed people's interest in a song spikes when we add swear words, despite them swearing in their everyday speak already, all the time. Placing swear words in the chorus of a song ensures that people will repeat it, and hopefully repeat it in front of their friends. We found this word-of-mouth marketing to be the most effective, but hardest to obtain. Through detailed research, we found the most appealing words were fuck and shit. For example, I came here to fuck shit up and have a good time seems to be working for us. I love swearing and learning how to play guitar as I go.
I am so unhappy that I did not hear that snippet back in 1999 when you and I were starting the band. Everything would have been fucking shit, because I agree with that. That is the best synopsis of how to write a rock song.
I heard that Elsie posted it, I believe, on Facebook or Instagram or something, and I was like, that is absolutely brilliant.
Genius level 3 or 4 right there.
Genius, the fact that he actually addressed, because that's what I noticed on his new album, is he rarely curses, very rarely on any of his albums. And then the 2 first singles he puts out is basically, guess who's back? Me, motherfucker. I'm like, whoa, all right. So it was working. And I guess it's ranking high. And to his point, I think it's doing well overall right now.
Awesome.
So I'm like,
I need more Danko on Danko.
But that should have been like a booklet with the little beeps in it, like you follow along when you get to the end of the page. Beep. Now you turn the page.
I can put it at the end of this and put the beeps in.
Yeah,
it would be even better.
That. Follow along at home.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's even better watching it because of his goofy ass. He does these pauses. They're a little too long, smiling and goofy with his big glasses. He's a personality. That right there, that clip is one of the reasons that I'm so into him too. Is he's beyond just the music too.
Yeah, I liked him before, and it just went up a few levels. Just right
exactly.
there.
And I think he was playing on the old. I don't know. I remember when I first started working in like an industrial.
Oh, the how-to videos.
They would have these how-to videos or these like worker safety videos that were really cheap and cheesy, and that's exactly what they were like.
See this 46-inch bandsaw? Don't stick your finger in there.
And they get some like really cheap actor to do it, and they're obviously reading their parts and they're pausing in the worst places. It's absolutely perfect. He did that so well. Love it.
No, that the only thing missing is hearing the sound of the VHS tape being slid in, and then hitting play and hearing the little starting music or whatever. Because that's like the Burger King videos I would have to watch the first 3 hours of being employed. Here you go. Here's how you make a Whopper.
Here's how you flip a burger.
Or you see the boom mic come into the frame.
Accidentally.
Right. Bad production value all around.
Falling down in the background.
Beautiful.
Okay, so before we get into the songs, because what we're going to do is we're just going to run through the first part of the Danko Jones experience. You have interviewed Danko, and I believe Baco's interviewed Danko. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how did that come to be? Did you guys have more than what's actually on the episodes, more banter afterwards, or just tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. No, I think that he, for the most part, he really only does interviews during his album cycles. If you get into a Danko rabbit hole or whatever like that, you'll see that when he does interviews is right around that. And that's typical of most bands, but that's when basically my point of that is that it's a 30-minute locked in. He's got 6 interviews that day. This one was a little more loose last time, and I think it was only because like the more recent one, I think it could have gone longer. And that with Danko is he starts loosening up only in that last like 10 minutes out of that half hour. And that's right when the interview usually ends. So all of us I would say we have 3 solid interviews. I've done it twice. Baco's done it once. But to answer your question, the quick answer is no, there's really not much left. I mean, the only stuff I've cut out are the things like I did this whole intro the first time I interviewed him, and it fell completely flat. Like I was making a Kiss joke because he's a huge Kiss nerd. And I was making a joke like I think I was doing Wildcat at the time. I'm like, yeah, so I've heard in interviews you've described your latest release as a blend between Kryptonite and Destroyer, because that's kind of what Kiss always does when they're promoting an album.
Right.
And he's like, no, I didn't say any of that. He got like real serious about that, something like that. I'm like, okay, I was just making a little joke there. And so you never know what you're going to get is my point. The last time I think he was more loose, but for a funny guy, he can be super dead serious too at times. That's all.
That's interesting. Yeah, you would think because I mean, if you look at his latest video, the single's called Get High, and it's him running around with his buddies smoking pot and looking for, all these pot fields. So yeah, you would think he'd always be on, but he's serious. That's interesting. Oh, well.
No, I'm saying sometimes he's serious about being silly, or you can tell that you're getting the 6th interview of the day versus
got it.
him fresh.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing. He's doing his business. Yeah.
Results may vary, is my point.
Gotcha.
But always a nice guy.
His character is so much different, though. His stage character, well, I guess anyone's is, but the way he promotes himself in the songs as Danko Jones and on stage as Danko Jones is very different than the guy you're interviewing, though, which I always thought was interesting as well.
Exactly. I'll say that's too is the and I tried to get to that, and we were running out of time. I was asking him kind of like, is it a big cathartic? How do you turn off the Danko on stage persona? Because he's wagging his tongue. He's like a Gene. You know what I'm saying? Like he's all over the place.
Who?
In his stage banter. Oh, Gene Simmons of
Oh, that was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that only you?
No, that was perfect.
It's a group effort. There.
Wow, look at that.
You got the dog.
That's your third Kiss connection with K, by the way. Very nice. Nicely done. So let's get into, in the first two songs we're going to play, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, not real official releases. We said it last time. They originally, when Danko Jones was formed, they did not intend to release an album at any point in time. Their whole shtick was they were only going to play live, and that they were going to do their thing only as a live band, word of mouth, like no merch, not selling shirts, no recordings, nothing like that. And then I think after a while they realized, like, oh, the only way we're going to eat, our next meal is if we start selling stuff, and we can actually make a little more money than we would get paid to play. And it might make sense to spread the word a little better if we actually have something people can hear.
Was it just a shtick, or were they serious?
I think it was a shtick. I mean, they're coming from a punk rock background where, they were just kind of middle finger to the man and do your thing. But that only goes so far. And I'm sure it was, hey, wouldn't that be killer if we just do nothing but live? And wouldn't that be funny? Oh, yeah. And then after a few years, like, might want to rethink that whole situation.
Wasn't that their whole thing about the song Mountain, that they would never ever put it on, they never make a recording of it too? Right. Isn't that kind of that's part of the documentary, right?
That's right. Yep.
We're never going to record that song unless we're absolutely sure that we can make some money from it. That's what it was.
It did come out on the live album.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the only version you'll hear, I think, for the most part.
That's it. And, it's kind of, Metallica did the same thing. For the longest time, I don't know if you remember in the 80s, they were like, we are cooler than those idiots that make videos. Metallica will never make a video ever. And then they got all the way to Injustice for All.
Then you find out then you find out, I guess they have some, did they ever release it? They said that they actually filmed something for Whom the Bell, all the way back to Ride the Lightning, that they actually made a video but never released it for Whom the Bell Tolls. I'm just saying, it's always like a mystique.
Wait, it was
you
one
find
the first video?
The real truth later.
What was the first video? One?
The first official video was one.
Okay, that's why I just now put together why it was such a big deal. I remember my friends going,
they would never do it.
Like on Headbangers Ball, and I didn't realize that was their first one. It was the first time I'd seen a Metallica video. I learned something. Thanks.
But they, in magazines and all that stuff, they had said forever, we'll never do that. That's what, that's what posers do and all this stuff, back in the day. And then they were like, we could probably make a little more money.
That's a new tour bus right there.
That's right.
So let's get into this. So the first album I'm going to play from is one that actually came out in 2014. And this is actually the first Danko Jones album I ever got on vinyl. Before that, I'd only downloaded Danko Jones stuff. But this one came out. I ordered it, and it's called A Collection of Lost Songs from 1996 to 1998. And there's a bunch of pretty rough demos on this thing. Some of them are not that listenable, just quality, but they're here. And they did all of this recording prior to their debut album coming out. Just like Metallica, they were actually recording. They were, doing 4-track demos. Every band does, but they just weren't really releasing them. But they were recording. And there are a group of 5 songs on here that they recorded in Toronto by a guy named Peter Hudson. Those are the best sounding ones on this album, so I'm going to play one of those songs. Even though some of the recordings aren't that great, it's a really cool glimpse into how they began, and really they haven't strayed that far. As we go through this, I think, Robert, especially you, because you're kind of getting this for the first time, you're going to see like this version of Danko Jones isn't that different than what we have today. Like, they knew what they wanted to do. They have their style, and they just kind of have stuck to it, and they've made it better, gotten bigger, but it's what it is. Now, in the last show, we also mentioned the the shows that they played because, you know, I've never seen Danko Jones because he just doesn't come to the States hardly ever. And so I've gone back on every single one of these, Elsie. I don't know if you've seen him live. Have you?
Just one time at a fest in Columbus called Rock on the Range. He was there opening for, well, he was there for Steel Panther, but that was it. And then from there, I think he toured with Volbeat once in like 2013, but I don't think he's been in the States. I don't think he's set foot in the States since 2014.
Unreal.
Did you see that Steel Panthers was on America's Got Talent?
I heard about that. I think it was a pretty brilliant PR move. I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, they didn't win, but at the same time, a whole new audience right there. Genius.
Bizarre. I just love the fact that people are going to Google and then listen to Asian Hooker and Glory Hole and Gang Bang and the old folks home and realize their gateway to all that was Howie Mandel or whoever's on that show.
It was very PG on TV.
So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen is, you know, some guy with his teenage kids, he's going, hey, this is the kind of music I used to listen to back in the day. Yeah. And I used to love Bon Jovi. Let's go listen to these guys. We'll make it a family affair.
Yeah.
And then they get Asian Hooker.
And he apologizes to his wife for 4 days. I'm sorry. I didn't know. God, I'm sorry.
I apologize. I didn't know. They look really cool.
So sorry.
They were on national television.
Yeah.
So with Danko Jones, when they first came out in the late 90s, they were basically touring North America. They were going into the States a little bit, but obviously they're a young band. They're from Canada. They're mostly playing Canada. In 1998, they made their first trip abroad. They went to the Netherlands. In fact, they went to Amsterdam and played, I'm assuming, a festival. And I'll just make the note here that sort of goes with their latest single that I just mentioned called Get High. They played first in Europe and Amsterdam. So I'm sure they enjoyed themselves there as well. So I'm going to play this song. I don't know, do you own this album, Elsie?
I do not. And actually, I'll just say right from the beginning that I am less familiar with the first half, like below the belt prior. So it was cool going back and getting into this. I own some of these. I do not own this one.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, let's see what we think. We're going to play the song and then we'll talk about it when we get back.
Who got it? Got it. Hey mama, check me here. We're gonna rock your ass tonight. We're gonna make you feel alive. We're Danko Jones, and we got it. But the question is, do you got it? Or she got it? That's right. That's right. We're gonna rock your ass tonight. We're gonna make you feel alive. All the folks are in. Danko! All the folks are in. I'm gonna count it off. Well, let's split up. Get it together again. That's what I like to hear. I like to say Danko Jones. Danko got it. We're gonna rock your ass tonight. We're gonna make you feel alive. Alright, Danko Jones. Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Danko Jones. All the ladies in the house say it. Danko. Fellas, you gotta say it too. Yeah! All right.
I love that we can add Danko Jones to the illustrious group of bands that have talked about themselves in their own songs.
Often.
Yeah. Motorhead and Bad Company. I mean, there's a lot of others. There's only two I can think of right now.
Please, it's your show. Go first. I can give you my opinion.
Oh, no. I want to hear a true Danko Jones fan from way back. I need to hear your thoughts on Who Got It.
I wouldn't get it if that was the first song I heard by him. I can tell you that much. Like I have heard, I perused And let me say, like, I did the old 30 seconds per one, and there's reasons things aren't released. And that song's whatever. It's a little silly, a little fun. If you were unfamiliar and there was no banner behind him, and you weren't sure what band you were about to see, then now you fucking know, because he's gonna let you know how many times his name and that he's got it. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely a B-side or a C-side. So, but of those,
it's on the edge.
You picked that because that is glorious compared to these other ones that are basically him and JC, I think, just kind of messing around in their basement back in the day.
Yeah, this sounds a lot better than the 4-track pieces that are on the same collection. To me, this is a song that they probably came up with live or right before they went on stage. This is a sound check song.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's exactly it.
That's what it is. You're right.
That's exactly it.
I guarantee you, they use this as sound check, and they want to let everybody in the audience, because they're probably opening for another band, right? They're probably in a club, and they do a sound check, make sure the levels are good, and this is them introducing themselves to everybody in the room.
And once again, I have seen the genius in this man and this band. It's the second time already. I'm like, oh my God, you're right. This is fucking genius.
Now, why would you?
A little higher.
Why would you spend your money to record a sound check song? I don't know.
Filler. Filler. You got a song, record it, put it on the record.
Yeah, but this was on their dime. This was in a studio on their dime, and they record this song. That I don't get. But
did we make the Andrew WK comparison on the last episode?
You did.
Okay,
yes,
I was going to say that's the closest thing I can get to this. It's just party, party, party. We're going to party hard, party. Yeah, we're going to party. Yeah,
Danko Jones.
Danko Jones. We're Danko Jones. Write that. Did you get that? Okay, record that. Good. Yeah. Edit, paste.
I can hear the producer right now. What was the lyric?
Producer?
Yeah, there's a producer.
There's a producer there?
I read you the name.
Record.
I read you the name. It was a guy, and his name was Peter Hudson. I bet he was like, Danko, you might want to reconsider the second verse. There's just like 2 lines that just aren't hitting it for me.
He said, can you play it back so I know what I sang?
Maybe just say your name again. Dude, just say your name again.
Just keep saying that.
All right. Well, that's, if you want to hear the true start of the band, go check out that album, or you can go to the next one.
Right. But before we go, this one, by the way, would have been approved for the Gene Simmons box set. And Gene Simmons of, by the way,
who?
Kiss!
Oh, this is going to be horrible.
This is so great. I'm so glad you're on the program, LC.
Now you see what I got to put up with?
This would have been a top tier Gene Simmons vault song. So.
Yes, it would have. There would have been 3 versions of it, though.
Oh, yeah, there would have been. Yeah, exactly.
One with
vocals, no vocals, 17th take, whatever he puts on there.
One with Jean Beauvoir on it.
Oh, that's right. Jean Beauvoir comes in there slapping that bass.
All right, so if you like that one, or if you want to check out more of their early beginnings, the next one is called I'm Alive and On Fire. This actually got released in 2001, which is around the same time that they're recording their true debut album. But these are a collection of songs as well, and some of these actually got released as singles. So there were 2 EPs prior to this one that came out in 98, called Danko Jones, and My Love is Bold in 99. I actually own My Love is Bold, a CD version of it, but I don't have the Danko Jones one, but I know that they re-released it last year, I believe. I don't know if you got that, LC, but I believe that's the one that has like a picture of a snare drum or something on the front and just says Danko Jones, but I think that came out last year. Some of those songs are on this, I'm Alive and On Fire, and then there was a single called Cadillac, which was released off of this album, and also 2 previous singles from the other releases, Sugar Chocolate and Bounce. And some people know the song Bounce. I don't know that anybody would know the other 2, but Bounce did okay. And, released primarily in Canada, so not really a U.S. thing. Now, so this came out in 2001, this collection of songs. In early 2000, Danko opened for Beck at Maple Leaf Gardens. So that's how far they had progressed without having a true release, just a couple of EPs. It was pretty impressive. They played 32 shows in 2001, Canada, the UK, and Europe, supporting Backyard Babies.
Hell yeah, that's a good combo.
That'd be an amazing show. And those bands played a lot. In these early years, they played together a lot. And we've played Backyard Babies before. I know you're a fan of them as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. Yep, very cool. So I'm going to pick a song from this collection of songs called Mango Kid. And here again is Danko telling you about Danko. So here's some more Danko on Danko for us. Here's Mango Kid.
Take your eyes off me. I said too little too late. I'm walking on. You'll find another pretty boy to turn you on. I got my name on the line, my eyes on the prize. Let me tell you who I am. You wanna know my name? I'm the Mango Kid. All you fellas look me up and down and cop my style. But when I see you at the club, you can't look me in the eye. It's okay if you wanna look and take. Just make sure you credit the kid who showed you how to shake. I got my name on the line, my eyes on the prize. Let me tell you who I am. You wanna know my name? I'm the Mango Kid. Call me the Mango Kid, but your girl calls me baby. And I've been a rock prodigy since the age of 20. What comes out of this mouth ain't called boasting, it's truthing.
So many good quotes that I want to get tattooed on my arm. It ain't boasting. It's truthin'.
Truthin'.
Bumper stickers, tattoos, they just write themselves when you listen to that song. Was that a Jimmy Buffett cover?
It might have been Mango Kid.
Yeah. It totally sounds like something he would have written.
Oh, that's right. He died, didn't he?
He's no longer.
Oh, how about that? Oh, well. Moving on.
Yeah, man. Can I just jump in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I want to let you know that it's pretty cool. I've often wondered before we get to the song, do they listen to the songs live when they're recording? If this is actually how it goes down, it's pretty cool because we don't do it this way. So I'm enjoying the process here. Is this legit?
Yeah, man.
Or are you doing this for show for me?
No. We kick it live. For the most part, we kick it live and do very little editing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the band. I was like, I thought you were saying, do they actually listen to what they record? I was following along like,
no, I think he's talking about us.
I don't think they actually listen to what they record. No. Yeah. Oh, us. Okay, I'm sorry.
We don't have any songs ready and stuff like that for the show. So this is great. You actually have a list ready. It's prepared. He's enjoyable.
He's got his shit together.
I tell you, man, I spend at least 15 minutes doing this. I'm legit.
I'm such the slacker around him. It's unbelievable. It's great.
Anyway, but I'll get into the song. Okay, first, you can't give yourself a nickname. I'm hoping that somebody called him the Mango Kid at some point.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do it yourself.
You know what I mean? But Mango Kid, very odd to begin with. It's like was the Honeydew Hitmaker taken? Was
isn't he from Canada? Where's he from?
Do they even have mango?
Did they even have mango up there? But the other part is like it like was Watermelon Man taken? That's kind of offensive. But still, it's still in the melon family. Yeah. But the Mango Kid, what does that even mean?
Cantaloupe Kid.
Right?
That makes more sense.
I don't know, man.
Cantaloupe. Yeah, Cantaloupe rolls off. So it's very odd, but yeah, this is the zone where Danko was. The boast and the confidence is always there. That's what attracts me to the music too. It's just that it's like when you hear it, you just feel better afterwards. He's almost like an inspirational speaker, like you can in some of his later stuff too. But definitely weird with a nickname. In fact, Dr. Evening, also not a good title for a song or a nickname you give yourself. I mean, Dr. Evening.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just a very odd thing. But overall, like the actual song, like the guitars are ripping, like Robert just said. Got some great lines at the end, but I do think it's funny because it sounds like he ran out of shit to say because there's not like a fourth thing he's saying. It's like he goes through that little part and he's like the whole, it's not, what is it, bragging? Or it's not bragging, it's truthin'.
Not boasting, it's truthin'.
Truthin', and then it's like, I thought there would be more. He's done. The song ends.
All you need is the truth, man.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's my deep analysis of Mango Kid.
He also had Sugar Chocolate, which was another single on this album, and I think he was trying to make, like you said, I think he came up with these himself. I think he was trying to make something to call himself other than Danko Jones, and then he just realized, like, my name's already Danko Jones. I'm just going to stick with that. I don't need Mango Kid. I don't need Sugar Chocolate. Let's just go with what it is.
It almost rhymes with Danko, mango. Do you think that's where he got it?
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
I don't know. I mean, his background is obviously not just Canada, so I don't know where he got Mango Kid from. Who knows? We'll move on.
Next time you interview him, all right?
Yeah, there's a question for you, LC.
These sound like leftover things. Like I just imagine Paul Stanley, when Dr. Love was put on Rock and Roll Over, Paul's like, I got to come up with something. Mr. Speed. It's like afterthoughts, these names.
They call me Dr. Evening. No. Dr. Nighttime. No. Dr. Love. Yeah, there you go.
Sugar Chocolate.
Right. No.
But Cadillac is kind of a song that's kind of like groove. And that one comes up later in one of my favorite songs by him, but I think that's a standout track on here. Sex Change Shake. Yeah. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like Shake So Hard. I think I had a sex change or whatever it is. That one's pretty of the time or whatever. That one's pretty catchy. But this is kind of when this is the first thing, like the first song we heard, he kind of gets in the zone here, but also you can see how much later on he became a much better lead player too, because like the guitar breaks, there's not much really a solo in many of these songs, but you do get that later too. But it's a nice first taste, I think, of Danko on this album.
Yeah, and I don't think it strays too far from where he is now. And he's not like a lead player now. He definitely has tastier chops now. And I thought it was funny in his little TikTok video that he even makes fun of, I don't really know how to play guitar.
Right.
Like his whole shtick is that even in the live setting, he'll say, I don't know how to do all this dweedly, but I can hit a mean power chord. He'll say stuff like that. And that is his bread and butter. And that's what all of their songs are. I mean, it's like Motorhead 101. I love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. All right. So then we actually get to, in 2002, the actual first official major release from him, which is called Born a Lion. 2 singles were released. Lover Call, which I believe you mentioned might be the ringtone on your phone.
Yes, it is.
That actually went to number 36 on the U.S. rock charts. Did you have any idea?
No.
I didn't either.
I don't know what.
I questioned it.
2002, that would have stood out
2002.
Tremendously.
I questioned this factoid that I found, but I don't do real research. Like I said, it's 15 minutes, so who knows?
That was nothing but angry new metal and rap crap and stuff.
Like a charm, like a charm, like a charm. I did it all for the nookie. Come on, so you can take that cookie.
Yeah.
2002.
Number 15 on Canada's rock charts. So that's more believable because he's Canadian, but they only have like 3 bands. So
50 people bought his album, so he made the charts.
Big.
You dicks!
Now, he was nominated also for 2 Junos, which again is like the Canadian Grammys, Best Rock Album and Best Video for Lover Call. So, yeah, I mean, coming out of the gate with the first major album from them, I bet a lot of people thought, here starts his trajectory upward. Then I looked up the AllMusic because I have to go to the most, the best sources to get this content. I went to AllMusic to see what kind of, what kind of quote they might have that I could pull out. And
is that basically the Dollar General of music sites?
It is. Okay. Yes, it is. And they say here, I thought it was pretty cool, actually. You have to check your political correctness at the door when you listen to this one. Danko Jones has swapped damaged, high-test soul music for a more blues-oriented rock sound. So they're saying that he's changed his musical style since the stuff that came out before this, which I thought was weird. And change comes with more upfront pose, especially about bad women, bad love, and bad attitude. Okay. Now,
whatever.
They're basing that. This is a first album review, and they're basing his change in sound off of the demos. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, but you know that AllMusic always had access to the unreleased tracks.
That's true. Well,
prior.
They are the source for everything, aren't they? They're AllMusic.
AllMusic.
You see?
Yeah.
It's in the name.
Exactly.
Now, on tour, they actually performed the opening slot with the Rolling Stones on their kickoff show in Toronto, which is pretty badass. I can't imagine what that must have felt like as a young band from Toronto who came up in the punk rock scene to like go out on a stadium stage and open for the Rolling Stones. Had to be amazing.
I just gotta give respect for the Stones. They have always been pretty cool with their opening acts, don't you think? Like over their time, like they just kind of open it up, it seems.
Yeah, and it always seems like it's genuine too. Like I remember when Living Colour got their spot, it was because Mick had befriended them, he had heard them, he liked them so much, he's like, I want to produce Glamour Boys. He produced that song, and I want to put you guys on stage, and they didn't even have a first album out yet. So yeah, pretty impressive. 46 shows played in 2002, Canada, UK, Ireland, and Europe. They decided not to go to the States with their first album. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of good songs on this album. I will say this is the album that I listen to the least for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't catch myself putting it on very often, but I do like the album, and it is very much a Danko Jones album. I think the next one, the one where I actually came on board with Danko Jones, is probably a better version of who Danko is and still is, or who Danko was and still is. This one's a little bit, to me, less attack maybe than what he would have later, but we'll let you guys discuss after we listen to this song. I'm going to play Caramel City from Born in Lion 2002.
Caramel City.
Caramel. Yeah, whatever.
Washington, D.C. is pretty, but it ain't my city. I need a town where I can get down. I follow traces of faces of people, baby. And when they get it on, the world turns brown. In my town, you can walk around at night. Go anywhere with anyone you like. Don't like to leave, I'd rather hang around. I love it cause the world comes to my town. See? Hey! R-A-M-E-L. The younger you feel, the more it feels right. Crossover jeans in the middle of the night. I thought a little color hurt no one, but I was wrong, baby, dead wrong. So I'm calling all white people, black people, Asians, South Asians, Hispanics, natives, everybody. I'm gonna scream it at the top of my lungs. Caramel City is where I come from. See? A R-A-M-E-L. It don't get better when you run and hide. I like to see it when the worlds collide. I wanna do it, baby, do it like we do every night. from my lungs. Caramel City is where I come from.
First of all, I believe LC owes an apology to Kevin over that pronunciation of the title of that song.
It's caramel. It's always caramel to me.
Clearly.
That's how I say it. But I see the spelling.
It was three syllables.
The spelling is.
3 syllables there.
Not for me.
And that was a lot more energetic than the Mission UK show we saw a couple of nights ago.
Yes.
That would have been fun and kept me awake. The Mission, bless their hearts, I love their music, but that first of all, it was freezing ass cold in that damn.
We didn't even bring this up.
No.
I can't believe we
I just
failed
thought
to
of that,
mention
though.
this. Yeah, we went to see a show. We saw a band that I've always loved, The Mission.
Yeah.
And yeah, it fell a little flat.
Fell a little flat. But once again,
That's too bad.
They're only 72 years old, you know.
Yeah. You know, a bunch of white hairs on stage. What do you expect?
And it was, once again, the venue is normally a great venue. They had the AC set on Arctic Circle.
Well, they knew that they were going to be nothing but goth people there.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make sure that it was vampire friendly.
All the dead people didn't start
Yeah.
to decompose in there, but yeah. An entire packed house of people staring at the feet. And in between the songs, no lie, both bands, well, 2 out of the 3 bands commented in between the songs. They're like, wow, you guys are really quiet tonight. Like, there's no talking, there's no yelling, whistling. It was just like, yay. And then dead silence.
It
I'm looking
was,
around going,
yeah.
well, this is the first goth show I've ever been to. And I'm like, I love goth music, but these shows have got to step it up a little bit if you want me to come back.
They knocked him dead, Robert.
Yeah, knocked him dead. Yeah, we looked too live. So anyway, back to this song. All the other songs sounded like what you mentioned earlier, warm-up songs. And all of a sudden he's like, okay, now we're going to play a real song.
This is Danko Jones.
Yeah, this is what you tune in for.
No, I just any song that involves spelling, I just get really nervous listening to because I don't want to fuck up is the if I'm singing along, and that was one that I just can't wrap my mind around that song, just how it's pronounced properly and everything like that. Like somebody the other day told me that it's called an opossum. It's
No,
a possum.
it's a possum.
Nobody from south of Kentucky calls it an opossum.
We don't even spell it with an O.
Yeah, you
We
leave
just
that
leave it
out. That's just stupid.
Yeah,
That's
like
silly
the first
talk.
time I saw that, I'm like, well, that's definitely grammatically incorrect. Nope, that's how it's actually spelled.
It is.
So there's certain things anyway.
But nobody in the south can spell it anyway. Don't worry.
But this album, just to go into this too, like you just said, Robert, where this is kind of the other ones are warm up songs. To that end too, like the first, just for as far as album cover, like the first album cover just shows Danko Jones wearing a top hat. Like he doesn't even know what his image is really yet. You know what I mean? And like this one actually does show the full band on stage. And this is when I think that JC has that badass bass tone, which goes throughout the time too. As a bass player, I'm actually shocked that he didn't play. This is not a bass player joke. Like Lover Call, I think is just a fucking killer bass riff. Like that's why it's on as my ringtone. It earned
Love
a
it.
ringtone status for me.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about JC. I know we talk mostly about Danko Jones when talking about this band, which you would, but JC has been there from day one. They write together. The two of them are the band Danko Jones. They've had a lot of different drummers. I think there have been like 11 or 12 drummers over the course of the years. But yeah, he's just as important to the sound. And my God, the man's bass it's ungodly. It is very akin to Lemmy's sound, although not quite as tinny. It's a little bit more on the lower end, which because he's not playing out of a Marshall guitar amp, which is what Lemmy did. He's actually playing out of a bass amp, but however he's getting that amazing fuzz tone, it is almost always at the level of where it's almost too nasty, to where he's like, I don't know, maybe you should dial it back. Nah, he's just go with it.
Is there such a thing, Kevin? Is it really such a thing that you can get too nasty?
No, I guess you're right. You just can't get too nasty. But he puts it at the nastiest level possible to get on record. Like if it were any nastier, it wouldn't actually record.
Page 23 of Guinness Book of World Records, the nastiest
Nastiest bass tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, and when you see him live too, like if you just, what I mean by that is just if you go to YouTube and find it, it's up in the mix too when they play live too. It sounds kicking. But just this album, just Born a Lion, was the first one I bought after I got Below the Belt. And the first 5 songs, side A, pretty much Play the Blues, Lover Call, Sound of Love, Papa, which is a nice flip on Papa's Rolling Stone, and Soul on Ice. Wow. If they kept it the rest of the time, for the rest of the album, this would be maybe one of my top 2 or 3 of his. I just love that first run of songs. It definitely is front-loaded for me personally.
And that may be why, I think that's a good point. That may be why I don't listen to this album quite as often. Maybe it's the side 2 thing that I don't quite connect with. I think it's a great album, don't get me wrong. It's just, when you like have all these albums to pick from, that's not usually where my hand goes just to throw one on.
Sure.
But when I hear it, I like it. And I think you're right. I think it's side 1 is just really impressive. And let's go back to the previous album cover, because I think I just realized something. You said, on this album cover, it's the whole band, and it's kind of like an arty, I'll show Robert here real quick, kind of an arty take on them looking kind of badass with the guy liner.
Yeah, it's a very...
Yeah, but definitely like a 2090, like here we are with a band, nothing too fancy. Almost like Beastie Boyish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the angle.
But still
the
menacing.
Wide, lens.
It's still menacing and cool.
It's half a step away from emo.
A little bit, yeah.
Sure.
A little bit. But back to the previous album, which had him, it was a white cover with, like you said, him in like a suit and a hat. And what kind of hat would you call that? I don't know, like a fedora, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a top hat, it's fedora. And it just hit me when you were describing it earlier. That was his Mango Kid outfit.
Here endeth the lesson.
I think you're right.
That's who that was.
The Mango Kid.
He was in character.
Yeah. That was his first attempt at being something other than just Danko. He was the Mango Kid.
I think you're right.
Figured it out.
And there's yep. I think that he figured I just got to be Danko, man. What a cool name. I've never known that name for anybody else too. I've never met a Danko.
And it's not his real name.
What?
No.
Didn't even think
that.
about
I did not know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, not his real name.
What is it?
Steve.
It's Steve. Of course. Why didn't you know that? You always know that. I looked it up last time, and now I can't remember what it was. But yeah, I looked up his real name, and
boring.
it's not
That's
Danko
why
Jones.
I changed it. It does sound like a real, yeah, man.
And
That's like that. It must be a Canadian thing. Like they have another band called Billy Talent.
Yeah.
And that's not nobody in the band is named Billy.
Oh, what?
Or Talent.
No, nobody. In fact, the lead guitarist for Billy Talent, his name is Pink Floyd. Go figure.
It's bizarre. It was right there for him.
How do these things work? I don't know.
I seriously just realized that's not a person. I didn't know that wasn't a person.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Mr. Talent.
True.
I
Mr.
thought
Talent
Mr. Talent
doesn't exist.
What a great name for a guy in a band. Damn it.
And neither is Danko Jones.
What else is not true? Just go ahead and tell me now. What else? Am I adopted? Is that what you need to tell me now?
Well,
Yes.
Now's the best time, I think.
Well, I mean, that's what my parents told me.
All right. Yeah, not his name, but what a cool name. Like you said, I don't know where it comes from, but damn, it's cool. And we sure know it now because he says it a lot in his songs.
But I'm glad he went with that. Now that you tell me that, it makes more sense that's why he kept throwing out the other stuff. Like he could have named his. I'm so happy that he went with Danko Jones versus Dr. Evening and all this other bullshit he was throwing out in his first one for figuring out the persona, right?
Yeah, have you picked up the new album by the Mango Kid? Yeah, see, that just doesn't work.
It's almost as bad as Boba Flex.
Oh, it just hit me. It sounds like a bad Austin Powers character. Dr. Evening, I presume.
What the hell did you just say?
That's what Elsie was doing earlier.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
He was cutting out.
All right. Yeah,
That's
sure.
right.
That's what I blame. I just blame that.
Yeah.
This is actually how his memory works, Elsie. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. He heard that.
I love it.
He just already forgot it.
Yeah. No,
Robert,
I was listening.
you have.
Go ahead.
I just wish you were on tequila tonight, like that one episode.
Oh, God. It's about time.
Yeah.
It's been about that
We can
time.
make that happen.
Yeah. Damn it. I didn't think about that. It would have been a good night because you're carrying the show for us. I don't have to do anything when you're here.
Yeah, go pour a drink.
Yeah. Why not? Okay, well, let's move on to official album number 2. This is actually where I was introduced to Danko Jones. And the way I got into it there was a cheaper version of iTunes. I've mentioned this before. A cheaper version of iTunes that I subscribed to. The only thing was they didn't really have like major label artists, which was fine for me because I was into exploring all these artists that were on, smaller labels, indies. But you could, where iTunes was 99 cents, this was like half price, right? So you're getting...
This was Me Too tunes, right? It was the same quality you get, but just a little more harassment.
Yes, exactly.
At a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So I was on eMusic. I was, purchasing something, and their algorithm suggested that I should also take a look at Danko Jones, and I had never heard of Danko Jones. I saw the album cover for the next album called We Sweat Blood, and it was
gross,
visually appealing to me for some odd reason. It's just a close-up of Danko.
Isn't that Ebola?
Pretty much.
That's right. Yeah, just cut it down.
Wow.
Cut out the description. Just
say what you mean.
Yeah. It's a visual of Danko strumming his guitar and blood is coming, off of his hand.
Ew.
And it's
off his wrist.
Off his wrist, yeah, which doesn't make any sense because if you sliced your hand when you're hitting the strings, it wouldn't be at your wrist. But maybe he slit his wrist. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were going for. But anyway, I thought it was cool enough that I wanted to listen to it, and I listened to it, and I fell in love immediately. In fact, this is one of my favorite Danko Jones albums. I really, really love this album. To me, it's a little bit heavier maybe than what's come before it, and even some that have come after it. I just think it's brilliant. Before, what I didn't know is, as I was doing a little research here in my 15 minutes, is the first album was actually on Universal Canada, which makes sense as to why they had, some of the push that they had with the singles and with the tour with the Stones and some of the places they played on the first album. Where
more payola.
Exactly right. But they got dropped by Universal because apparently Danko went on some program and was, at that point in time in the mid-2000s, was giving a pro downloading speech on some program, and apparently the guy who runs Universal Canada was not quite down with that.
Was he Lars' cousin?
Yes, it was Danko and Lars. Well, they would have been fighting, wouldn't they? So
yes.
Yeah. But anyway, that got them dropped from Universal Canada, so they go back to an indie for this second release, We Sweat Blood, and actually they got another Juno nomination for Best Rock Album. They didn't win, but 2 albums, 2 Juno nominations, pretty damn cool. 84 shows in 2003, 2004, Europe, Canada, the UK. They went to Australia. We mentioned last time, we said Danko Jones would kill in Australia. This is the only time he's ever gone to Australia that I can tell. Doesn't make sense. He played Japan. He played 2 shows in the U.S., Rochester, New York, and Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. Crazy. Don't get it. But anyway, I found him. I found this album. I think it's amazing. I could play any song off of this album. But where are you, Elsie, with this album?
This one's, I do like the Lion better. There's some kick-ass songs. It's not the one you pick. So I'll just give a name check a few on here. Is Forget My Name. That riff is just,
and that's one he plays live all the time.
He plays that a lot. And if I could pick my top 2, Heartbreak's a Blessing and Forget My Name are my 2. But you picked a good one too.
Yeah, Strut's another one that's just awesome. But okay, yeah, I get it. I think one of the reasons maybe sonically that I like it so much is while this was recorded in Canada, it was mixed in Sweden, and we know that all good things rock and roll come out of Sweden. Yeah. Dragan from the Backyard Babies Helicopters, he is actually guest vocals on Strut. I don't know.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
A lot of the gang vocals on these songs and the one I'm about to play were recorded in Sweden when they were doing the mix. So if you throw a bunch of Swedes on your album, I'm probably going to like it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I'll jump more into this one, actually, because this is one of the ones I was not as familiar except for some of the live tracks.
Go for it. Oh, you're saying afterwards. I thought you meant now.
Come on, Kevin.
What, you think I'm going to go listen to it for 45 minutes, come back and give you a new review?
We have
we'll
a guest,
here.
Man. Come on.
I'll be here. I'll wait.
Pay attention, Kevin. Jesus. You see what I got to put up with?
All right, well, let's play this song I love, and it's called I Love Living in the City.
minor threat, baby. You look me up and down while standing in line. You got a lot of attitude for someone going out of style. Living in the city. Living in the city. Oh yeah. Alright. Feels good all night. Living in the city. I love 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 living in the city.
Co-written by Randy Newman. How has that song not been picked up for marketing? That sounds like the perfect setup for some Volkswagen commercial or something. Hip.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to appeal
It'd be
to the
hip.
hip young audience.
I agree.
That's once again, it fills all the niches of, pumping your fist in the air during the chorus, easy to remember lyrics to sing along, and there was no spelling. Was there? I didn't.
He spelled the word I.
No.
I. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Should I
then-
always get right?
Okay.
So I'm fine with that.
It's E. I.
I also like how it had kind of non-rhyming verses. Like I love the part where it says, the part about meeting a lady that's crazy and then you meet her mother. It's just thrown in there.
That's
Just
he was showing
that
the
kind of
true
thing.
artist that he is. That's an artist that does that.
He also did he
yeah.
did an old school punk rock drop because he mentioned Minor Threat. Your instep like Minor Threat. I thought that was great.
A nice catch.
Which
I
is
didn't
their-
even catch that.
Which
Yeah.
is their second album. So that's pretty cool.
But man, that's what's different about this. I never noticed that this album is chock full of those gang vocals like that, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and they're Swedes, so it's that much cooler.
I don't think there's any other. I don't think any of his other albums have that like that.
And they look
Doesn't-
good while they're singing.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, the Swedes.
The Swedes.
Very good skin.
They take care of themselves.
And he was, he's traditionally done a ton of touring in Europe and in Scandinavia because he toured with Backyard Babies.
I mean, think about it. If you had a
It
choice,
goes perfectly with what they
If you had a
love.
choice, would you want to tour in Sweden or Arkansas?
Yeah.
I know, right? That's what he said. Like he describes it. You don't think about this when you're here, but he said one of his quotes is that the U.S. is like 50 different countries, where you can go to Europe and it's just like you can hit it all real quick and it's so spread out, and it is. Texas is a hell of a lot different than California and stuff like that. So
Absolutely. Now, if memory serves correct, you spent some time in Florida, correct?
Yes, I did. I grew up there.
Oh, yes.
Not you.
Oh,
I'm pointing
sorry.
at the screen. So, Elsie,
Both
how
of us
long?
did.
How long were you in Florida?
I served a decade of service there.
A decade of service. Wow.
Yes,
whom?
yes. Service of. I got lured down there. Florida has this thing where if you live in the Midwest, it's this magical place. There's beaches. There's water. It's not, it's supposed to be just like you see in the movies. Miami.
No
That's what you think of,
seasons.
right? Miami.
Yeah.
Was
not
it
like
was
that,
it two
really.
episodes
I was-
ago? I was saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's
So I
all-
got tricked
Yeah,
by
you-
my wife to come down there. But yeah, I was Florida man for a while. Where are you going with this?
Where?
Well,
where
you know
in
my
Florida?
my co-host is a native Floridian.
Yeah. Where
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Florida did you abide?
I was near what's the retirement place where
Florida?
Seinfeld's parents?
It's Florida.
Parents.
Florida's retired.
Boca
Boca Raton.
Dale.
I got a house at Boca. You got to come
Yeah.
see us. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
God.
What a culture shock. I mean,
Slit
it was
my
in
wrist.
an area called Boynton Beach near
Uh-huh.
Del Rey and near West Palm. That zone.
It's all one big city. You get south of
really
Daytona,
is.
from about 100 miles south of Daytona, you start to hit a city, and it doesn't stop till you get to Key West. And it's just one big megapolis.
That's right.
why, no other reason I don't live there.
Yeah, I wasn't going anywhere. I was throwing it in because we haven't mentioned Florida yet in this episode, and I just figured it was
Just might get in there.
Yeah, I went on a rant a couple of episodes ago. It got dark. It got really dark at the end there, so we won't have to go into it.
It is a weird culture. You get used to it after a while. Like I'll be taking. There's this pumpkin patch I would take the kids to, and there's seriously gators all over this goddamn pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
And whatever. What's the goddamn thing between the street and the
sidewalk?
Okay, whatever.
Curb.
The goddamn swamp. Curb. Whatever.
Easement.
They're just scared. Like if you'd walk by and there'd be like you take one wrong turn and 3 children would fall down and their lunch, but people just like, yeah, there it is. It's no problem.
Don't step over there.
They don't show you that in the tourist brochures.
No.
There's so many things trying to kill you there.
Oh God, here we are again. This is where you were going last time.
God. Sorry.
Last time you were talking about the red tide.
Yeah, that's not a euphemism for something. It actually was a bad bacteria outbreak that they would have every 2 or 3 years.
Sure, why not?
You just kill over just by breathing the air in Florida.
Yeah, it's
That's how great it is.
God's waiting room.
So everybody else asks, it's Colorado. Oh, you're in Florida before. Why'd you move?
Have you heard of Florida? Yeah, that's why I moved.
They explain to you. That shouldn't even be a question. We should just say, they should just say, good decision.
Yeah, good. Congratulations, you made it out.
Yes. Anyway, we're talking about Danko Jones, I believe.
We'll go back to Danko Jones. All right, let's hit their third album, recorded in 2005.
We need to have him back again just to keep us on track. This show's going better just because he's here.
Exactly, right. We didn't get too dark this time.
I'm like I do the opposite on other people's shows.
Yeah,
I keep people on
keep us on track. I got a schedule to do. Come on, let's go.
That's right.
Okay, so this comes out in 2000. Or I'm sorry, this was.
I'm going to forget unless I say it right now, and that is that the wife said, "Hey, you got a concert this week? It's one of your favorites." I saw it on the calendar. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to a concert this week. She goes, pull up your calendar. She goes, I don't know who the opening band is, but it says Danko Jones. So I assume that's a concert, but there's something that's an opening band or something like that. I'm like, no, that's a podcast. I'm not going to a show.
You're like,
to my
they
basement.
suck.
Why are you
going
lying
to my
me?
basement and talking to 2 men in another state
you really are going
about
out.
a man named Danko Jones.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was impressed.
Yes, she was. She said, wow, that's a full night.
Yeah. Bless your wife. Okay, so again, let's start this again. Third album was recorded in 2005, but they pushed the release until 2006 because We Sweat Blood actually did pretty well, and they actually decided, even though when they initially did the first part of that tour, they didn't come to the U.S., they thought We Sweat Blood is doing pretty good, selling all right. Let's go to the U.S. Let's do it. So they actually did a pretty, this is I think the last time they did an extensive tour in the U.S. So this was probably the one that broke him. And then they decided to release the next album. Even though they recorded it, they released it the next year. It is called Sleep is the Enemy. And I went to, the book of record for all that is mighty in reviews, All Music. And this is what they say. Sleep is the Enemy isn't musical genius by any standard, but it is a loud, confident, straightforward, and fun album that skips guitar solos and instrumental frills to focus on what truly matters to Danko Jones, rocking.
I think that's called a complisalt.
I'm not sure.
Complisalt.
I'm not sure.
Have you met the back of my hand?
Exactly.
It's not too far off, though. I mean, it is what Danko does. It's meat, potatoes, power chords, and 1, 2, 3, let's go, Ramones style.
Come on, though, that title, what a great title for being a creative.
Sleep is the enemy.
Sleep is the enemy. For that just defines who he is too. But in general, for like somebody that it just seems like a perfect name for an album by him.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah,
It's just a little turnabout. Yeah.
And I thought it was clever because the last album, and I'm about to hit on this, but I always feel like he does albums either in pairs or in trilogies. Like there's always a grouping of his albums that kind of have a similar tone and sound before he makes little tweaks or changes to his sound. And this is, to me, this is the second in a group. So after We Sweat Blood, which had, it was a black album cover mostly, and it had, his hand bleeding. This one is a stark white album cover, and on the back you see 2 guys laying, you only see their legs and their hands, and there's blood. So, kind of a theme there with, killing people on stage apparently. And Sleep is the Enemy is, I agree. I think it's a great title. I think it's a great album, actually. It basically picks up where the last album left off. So this is another one of my favorites. And I looked up some of the singles that they had, and it did pretty damn well. Sticky Situation, number 22 on the Canadian rock chart. First Date was number 20, and it was also number 35 on the U.S. rock chart, which is, again, I don't remember that where we lived, but, I wasn't really listening to radio anyway, but impressive. Baby Hates Me, number 26, and then the last single was Don't Fall in Love, which didn't really go anywhere, but still, 4 singles on this album, pretty damn cool.
The First Date, if you were to give that to almost like a pop artist that wasn't if it wasn't him, don't you think that is like a give it to somebody else that could have been a hit kind of deal I
think there's several songs of his that it would be interesting to give his songs, let him be the songwriter and just give it to another artist and see where it goes. I guarantee you it goes further than he's gone with it, but he writes damn good songs. I agree.
He needed a Butch Walker.
Yeah, pretty much. 97 shows he did the year that this came out, 2006. So 2005 he did some touring in the U.S. In 97 shows across Europe, Canada, UK, and only one in the U.S. After he had been in the States the previous year. But I picked this song called Baby Hates Me, which is one of the singles. This is not the one that actually charted in the U.S., but I really love this song, so I'm going to play it, and we can discuss afterwards, because I think this is another great Danko delivery. Danko on Danko.
My favorite situations are always sticky kinds. I'll be the first to cast stones. I don't let sleeping dogs lie. I sing it from the mountain. Just take me to the top. I'll scream it till my lungs pop. I'll stand here till I drop. The feeling is leaving.
he's getting into dangerous territory where he's catchy without being just super cheesy.
Oh my God, the swagger in this song, man.
Well, that's why I was talking about Butch Walker, because the songs he could write and the way he produces it, he just like turns up the swagger button.
That would be a good mix. Danko and Butch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be phenomenal.
But you're right. I was imagining other bands singing that song. They're like Jackal for some reason popped up. It's like that's just like something as silly as that. But it like the silliness that he had before led me to think about another band that's notoriously just silly. All right, come on. You got the Weed Eaters on stage or whatever.
The Weed Eaters. Dude, I think this is the whole album's really good, but this song is just so well written to me. There's a reason it was a single. It's got a little bit of that AC/DC feel to it, yeah.
Yep.
Like late 90s pop rock that you and I are totally into for, obvious reasons.
Power pop.
Pop, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect song. I mean, this, like you said, the AC/DC part, the bass tone in it, the delivery from Danko on this. This is where there's certain albums where his vocals are top shelf. Like, he's always a good vocalist, but like he's kills it on this song, on this whole album. And there's a few, I think, that are his best vocal takes, but you can hear all the attitude. But the thing that's surprising about that is, and I'm around two musicians, so correct me on this, what would you call the baby? It's not falsetto, but what is that considered? Like it's unexpected for the chorus.
It's
like
just,
everything's perfect.
It's an
that
octave,
takes it next level.
It's an octave up from what he's normally kind of a speaking sing. A speak sing.
Yeah.
You might call it falsetto.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like that's the cherry on top of the of the whole song. Is like that's like unexpected. Like if it didn't have that, it would still be a good song. But that chorus, that way he sings it, just takes it next level. The song.
Yeah, it gives a little more of that funkiness that he brings in a little bit later in some of his albums as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, totally.
And the breakdown too. Like some of the best things that I love is when he does those, there'll be some later stuff in later albums too, where he just does kind of, I just call it the Danko rant. Yeah. Like he'll just go instead of a solo, it'll be a bridge that just.
Yeah, let me just speak to you here for a minute. But
exactly,
it's
break it down.
I think where you were going, Robert, is sometimes he comes across cheesy, and it's kind of meant to be. That's his character.
Yeah.
But in this situation, he does it so well. He plays Danko. Danko plays Danko so well that it's like believable and cool.
Well, you guys both mentioned AC/DC, and I said Jackal, which initially that sounds.
I can hear Jackal
apart,
on that too.
But Jackal's just an AC/DC cover band.
Yeah.
So we heard the same thing, but from different angles.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, let's get into the next album, which had an amazing producer, hotshot producer, Nick Raskulinecz comes in. He's worked with the Foo Fighters, Velvet Revolver, Rush, a ton of other bands. He was kind of the it guy in the 2000s.
Oh, he's got a vacation home for sure.
Yeah, he's one of those Nashville cats.
Yeah.
And he comes in and does their fourth album. And I remember, I don't know, Elsie, if you ever heard this, but I remember hearing something from Danko that this was not his favorite album. There was something about this album that they weren't happy with. But I don't really have a problem with it. It's called Never Too Loud. Came out in 2008. They had taken most of 2000 off.
What the hell did you just say?
They probably needed a break at that point because they had just been touring. And to me, this is kind of the end of that first trilogy that I'm talking about that started with We Sweat Blood. It kind of has the same, it's got the same font on the cover. And that's kind of how I put these albums together. If it's got the same font, you're going to have some kind of the same feel. So the same logo on the cover, you're going to get sort of the same feel in the music. It seems to work out that way, at least I think. But there is half of this album that's maybe a little more mellow than previous albums, maybe a little more, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it's got an acoustic song on it. It's got, you've got a producer in there who's probably telling you to try some new things, branch out a bit. So maybe that's what's happening. And then, did you ever hear that Danko wasn't a fan of this album? Or am I making that up?
Oh, yeah. No, you're not making it up. I've heard that, and it's not that big of a departure, but it is slightly different. There's longer songs, there's like a 6-minute one on there, and it's just to me it strays a little bit from it. But I think this is the point where they're like, are we gonna make the same goddamn album all the time, or are we gonna try something a little different? And they did. It's not one of my top ones, but it's aight.
Yeah, it's probably not one that I reach for when I'm, just randomly picking one. But going back and listening to it before this episode again, I was like, shit, there's nothing wrong with this album. It's good. Like it's
You know what it is?
really
It's their power rage.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. It's them.
It's a slightly different for AC/DC. You know what I mean?
It's them doing them, but throwing a few twists in.
There you go.
Now, from a touring standpoint, this is where they were just a machine, because they also, in 2009, they released 2 albums, a B-sides collection with some of those amazing songs we heard earlier in the episode, and also they put out a greatest hits in Canada in 2009. So they just toured supporting this album as well as the other 2 they released the next year. So they, on a 2-year stint, they did 117 shows across Canada, Europe, UK, couple in the US. They opened for Motorhead in England, Germany, France in 2008. They supported Backyard Babies and Black Spiders, or actually Backyard Babies and Black Spiders supported them in 2009. I think I had that wrong.
It's a show for me.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like, please bring that to the States once.
Right. This is fun.
Oh, great. And then in January of 2010, so going into the next year, they toured across Canada with Guns N' Roses and Sebastian Bach. Amazing.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the next time they come to the States, so we're going to go all the way to 2010 here. Next time they come to the States, they're doing a few shows with Clutch. Again, amazing group of bands to play the same stage together. I wish I would have seen any of those shows.
And I'll just jump in there too, just to mention this, is that if you're going to have an opening band to get to everything, we've all been to those shows where the opening band does not add value to the show and get you revved up. He's a perfect opening band for anybody, from his onstage banter. You can't miss, is my point.
It's a musical pep rally.
Exactly.
There you go.
Get you going. Revival.
And you're going to know his name by the end of the show. Let's not forget that.
That guy, it's Steve, yeah.
Exactly. Amazing. So, Never Too Loud, the song I'm picking that we're going to listen to here is Let's Get Undressed.
I've had enough. I can see that you agree you're into harder stuff. Don't wanna push it or make a scene. Let's take it easy, stay the evening, cause I think we clear. I got to tell you that there's something that is on my mind. I wanna do it, but first I gotta find my spine. We're flooding, I wanna get rolling.
Well, that reminds me of a 1980s era hair band, but it's about 1996, and they're playing a club with about 20 people, and it's the part of the show where they go, "Hey, thanks again for coming out. Here's a song from our latest album." And they're trying to be relevant and relive the debauchery of the 80s. And it's just like, it didn't quite, no, just play the hits. So there's a long way to go for that, but that's the picture it painted in my head, was somebody trying to relive the glory days, but not quite pulling it off.
You gotta win.
Hated it.
Wow. I'm going to throw in a little wah right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like it.
Sorry
I like
to hate
the
on
description.
Danko. Everything else is really great.
Huh. I love that song.
Yeah.
Of course, but you know what? Being honest here.
That's fine, man.
Can you tell me
This song,
the chicken fingers are
will
wearing off? I'm
definitely.
getting hangry.
Oh, he's getting hangry. That's what it is. Yeah.
I don't think this song has actually worked in the intent that it's supposed to have. I don't think anybody's ever taken their clothes off to this. I think they're putting more clothes on listening to the song.
Well, let me put
the
my pants
lady.
back on then, Elsie. Sorry about that.
Mr. Literal.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I will tell you too. The other song on this album that kind of on my other complaint is on the track "Code of the Road" that opens up the album, which is one of my favorites. There, nowhere in the verse does it ever mention not shitting on a tour bus.
We've heard that rule. I think Brandon, our friend Brandon from Blackberry Smoke, was telling the same story. We're like, "So what's it like out there?" He's like, "Well, you don't take a shower on the bus. You don't shit on the bus.
You never shit on the bus."
Yeah.
Poignant words.
Yeah, all right. Wow. I totally dig that song. I'm like totally into it. But I see what you're saying. All right. Got it. Cool. I guess there's a reason. I guess there's a reason Danko doesn't like it.
Wow. We've offended Kevin.
Wow.
We have.
He took it personally.
Sorry. That'll be okay.
He's going to go cry to Danko. You won't believe what they said, man. It's horrible.
He hates this album too, apparently. So. Okay. Well, let's end this evening with the album that LC came in on, Below the Belt.
Yep.
Might be their best album of all time. I don't know. I don't know your thoughts, but might just be the best.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah. True masterpiece.
Oh, you think so too? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Your thoughts or the album? Which is the masterpiece?
Well, it's debatable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way to suck up to the guest there, Kevin.
Man, yeah, this one, I just gotta say, like, sometimes when you get into a band, you think, do I have first album bias? You know what I'm saying? Like this is my starting point, and then everything else is measured from that first initiation into it. And everybody can have theirs. Like if you came in on Fair Warning by Van Halen, it might be your favorite album. Is it debatable? Yeah, probably. But you know what I mean? But me, I think it actually is their best album. And I look at it as there's not a single track. I listen to this all the way through. I don't count the bonus stuff. It ends with I Want to Break Up With You. There's some bonus stuff on there, but me, those 11 songs, 40 minutes, pure rock and roll. You get all the attitude that you'd ever want from I Think Bad Thoughts, which is just a killer song. He's never done anything kind of like that since. Or would you say he has?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was going to play I Think Bad Thoughts, and then I thought, two thoughts next to each other. Anyway, I thought, we're in Obscuria. I can't play the hit single. It was number 34 on the U.S. rock charts. I can't play that one. But
I want to
an amazing song.
Jump into.
No, go ahead.
I'm pretending I'm with Baco and we're just talking on top of each other. So, but I'm not sure if you've ever heard this, but Active Volcanoes. Do you recognize the riff on that? The second song on the album? Like what it's supposed to be an homage to? It's no big deal, but it is Love Her All I Can. Kiss.
Oh.
And he actually says it in an interview. He said that I totally ripped that for that one. It was an homage to Kiss. And the fact that he says Knights in Satan's Service on the track, I Think Bad Thoughts, also sold me. I'm like, I'm in. I didn't even know he was a Kiss fan at the beginning. I'm like, this guy's awesome. And he's a Kiss nerd.
Oh, yeah. That's it. Sold.
Take all my money.
Sold.
Yeah. But no, you're right. I mean, the track you're picking is, I mean, he did that trilogy of I Think Bad Thoughts, Had Enough, and what was the other single from this one?
Active Volcanoes was a
Full
single.
of Regret?
Full of Regret. Yeah, he had 4. And Full of Regret actually was also number 34 in U.S. I Think Bad Thoughts and Full of Regret, number 34 on the U.S. rock chart. Again, I never, ever remember hearing anybody talk about Danko Jones. So I don't know where this was captured, but not here in the South. Canada, Full of Regret went to number 5, which is pretty damn awesome. Active Volcanoes, number 12. And I think it's his masterpiece. And I do believe I came in on We Sweat Blood. Probably the reason that I love it so much is that was my introduction. So yeah, that makes total sense. The same reason that Asylum is the best Kiss album ever, right? So
That's right.
That's where I came in.
But this one, I think, actually measures up to it. But I mean, if I was going to, here's my whole thing why I look at this is like, you can have your favorite, but I also, I'm like, which is the album that I would say to Robert, like, you should go as an example, but you did the other ones later. But like, if you're going to take one album and this is going to be your initiation, period, I think it's a great starting point is all.
Agree with that. So where did he tour? 171 shows played across the next 2 years after this was released. Canada, Europe, UK, and the US. So I was mistaken. This was the last major effort in the US, was with this one. And this is when you saw them? Is that correct?
Yeah, they were supporting this. I think we had just heard it, and I think this was the same summer. When's your release on this? That would make sense.
Early summer 2010.
Then I saw him I saw him in 2011, but it was still on this cycle.
Yeah, because they did a 2-year stint of touring. Okay. Well, that makes sense. All right, well, let's play. I was going to play I Think Bad Thoughts, but I ended up going with Had Enough. You can't go wrong.
Choice.
You can't go wrong with this album. So here's Had Enough.
nothing. I need something. I'm sick of suffering. You're giving nothing. I need something. You're only playing. We're all fading. I'm sick of waiting. You're only playing. We're all fading. I'm sick of waiting. When you criticize with your pretty eyes, you drove a stake right through my heart. When you burn in hell, remember what I said. You had your chance, I've had enough. 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 I've had enough.
And that was a perfect song. Started off strong, had a breakdown, had a good crescendo. You got to have a good crescendo in a power pop song. It's very important. before you bring it down, and then bring it right back up again and finish it off strong. Yes, that would have been a good starting point. You played that for me, I would have been like, hell yeah, I like that band.
Kind of a Judas Priest riff at the beginning, too.
Yeah, and in a weird sort of way, reminded me of Jimmy Eat World, where there was just power pop, but heavier, but not metal. They never crossed into that, but it was just heavy rock for those guys. But just sing along the whole time.
Absolutely. Elsie, I'm wondering, how did this go over, or how did he go over live?
You went over. It was great. It was just like this random night where it wasn't all during a fest. It was like the bonus night. So it was a all-girl lesbian Led Zeppelin. It was like before him.
What?
And then it was
what was that?
Another band.
Les Zeppelin?
Les Zeppelin, and then they had another cover band called Hell's Bells, Belles, of all ladies, doing AC/DC, and then it was him, and then it was Steel Panther. So it's just a fun night, period. And he went over great because there's just like a big party, of silliness. So that was the lineup. So it wasn't It wasn't a typical like Stain just got done playing and then Danko jumped on.
Gotcha.
To give you that.
This was outdoors though. This was like a outdoor festival.
Yep.
Okay.
In a big soccer stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Yep.
Wow. Oh my God. Les Zeppelin, huh?
Hang on,
you got it.
I'm pulling up their tour dates. Hang on, Coca-Cola Roxy.
Oh well, there you go. You got somewhere to go now, Robert.
Yeah. Let's see. When is it?
This is what he took out of what you just said.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, I know.
Anything else you said? November 17th. Put that on your calendar. They're gonna make out on stage. Yeah.
Elsie, you want to make a trip to Atlanta? See a little Les Zeppelin?
Sure. Yeah, I'd like to see if I could write that one off. Research.
Okay. Well, back to Danko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would have been amazing to see Danko live. Unfortunately, I have not seen him live because...
I don't think you will. I don't think I will ever again either. I don't think he's coming back.
Are we allowed to go to Canada? Do we have to have like shots or anything to go up there?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think we get past the Mounties, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it kind of sucked to get up there.
So we're recording this on September 13th. In 2 days' time from where we are right now...
It will be September 15th.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Danko Jones,
I'm helping,
will release Electric Sound. So we will get the new Danko Jones album here in 2 days. And I think he should have been huge. I think part of the reason he's not as big as I want him to be is because I don't think he's focused on the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. I think we could break him even bigger. I think this is a plea to Danko because I know he's listening because LC's on this. The only reason he's on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Well, they know each other.
They know each other.
They're
so he's got to listen.
Yeah.
I think he should really focus this next year on touring the States, primarily in the southeastern quadrant of our country.
at music venues named Cowboys. It just hit all the music venues named Cowboys.
I think Danko Jones could blow up if he would just promote it a little more in the States. I think it's time. I think he's got enough albums under his belt. He obviously knows what he's doing now. So
I mean, I'd buy a T-shirt.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Elsie, what do you think?
No, I think he made a joke that the only way he's going to blow up in the U.S. is if Dave Grohl wears his T-shirt, a Danko Jones T-shirt, or so. He needs some kind of event like that. I'm like, and if I guess, man, and I think that he. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, if he just walked across the stage, if Dave Grohl just walked across the stage and waved and then went back
at the Danko show.
At the Danko show, all of a sudden, this guy's monster status.
Mm-hmm. He said he needs some kind of endorsement like that. I think that he hung up the hat he never wore again from that first album after he toured with Volbeat, and that didn't go over that well. I guess he kind of said like in 2013 or 14, he thought that was kind of his thing. So I think he's like, I think I just make a lot more money being on these fests and doing that. And so, but I to your point, listen, you're not going to find any argument for me. Yes, come here. Play. I think he needs to be on a bill like that. That's where I say he's the greatest opening band for another act. But I don't know who he'd be paired with. I don't think that he wants to take their financial risk of just touring and doing the clubs. I don't think he'd do. I think he needs to be combined with somebody.
Well, let's put him with the Foo Fighters then. Why not?
Oh, damn.
Why not?
That would be a great opening band.
I'd fly to Canada.
Fun night.
I would fly up there.
I mean, I don't see it being that far from something that could actually happen. I don't know. I'm just, I often wonder, like with all these episodes that we do with a lot of these bands, it's just, especially these types of bands that have so much output, it's like, how in the hell did one of these albums not hit and make it?
I know.
Because obviously I love it.
Are you hearing this?
Kevin, have you gone back and tracked, like scientifically, how many bands have broken it big since we featured them on In Obscuria? Because it has to be a good number of bands. I mean, we've talked these bands up. There's a lot of people listening.
Yeah. I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm thinking it's, it's in the 0.000
.00 something.
There.
Yeah, it's there. It's not zeros all the way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we've at least eliminated zero somewhere.
We got a couple of sales here or there.
Yeah, totally. All we have left is for you to do a little pimping. So why don't you pimp Cobras and Fire for the people before we get out of here?
No problem. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the show, we're definitely friendly, both of these podcasts together. Baco is the other co-host of our podcast. And essentially, just to give the elevator pitch is we make fun of what we love, and what we love is rock and roll. Definitely in the same zone of in obscuria as far as just like hard rock and everything from old to, flying the flag for newer bands. You're going to find it there. So if you have a good laugh, like if you're listening to this show, then swing on over and check our show out too. And if you can find everything at just cobrasandfire.com. You'll find everything there.
And Elsie, I will put this on recording that the next time you're on our show, because there will be a next time, that I will be drinking tequila just for you.
Yes.
I can't do it tonight.
I'll come back.
I got a corporate gig here at the firehouse tomorrow, and I got to be on my toes because the team building exercise is shooting flamethrowers in the backyard.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You and your flamethrower also. Yeah, we definitely want to come down there and hang next Rockin' Pod or whatever. I'll find an excuse to get down there.
Woo! Yeah.
Well, before you get out of here, let me just say I have been listening to Cobras and Fire for years. Such a great show every week. It just makes my week better. So thank you, both of you guys, for what you do, for putting a smile on people's faces and just having fun with it, not taking anything too seriously, yet at the same time promoting the music we love and introducing us to a lot of new music. So thank you for that.
Yes.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. And with that,
see ya.
See ya.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Did we lose you? We sure did.